Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is game number 2 here between IdrA and Sterling. Sterling, my gosh, sitting with an idle SCV there momentarily. He was too busy trying to type. That's certainly nothing that you want to get in the habit of doing. But anyways, yes, this is going to be game number 2 here in the best of 3 series between Sterling and IdrA. This time we are here on Shattered Temple. We can see Sterling spawning here in the 9 o'clock position as our purple Terran player. And down here in the 6 o'clock is the green Zerg player, IdrA. And again, once more, we are on Shattered Temple. So going to be interested to see how this game plays out. IdrA really more or less dominating last game. We saw Sterling push out with some early aggression with that 1 racks into expand, the marine bunker pressure. IdrA had no problem dealing with that. We saw a secondary drop from Sterling, and Sterling did manage to do a little bit of damage with that, but nothing absolutely devastating. And what is going on with all the chat here? Oh my gosh. So it wasn't really that devastating, and IdrA was able to pop out those mutas and take care, of that drop. But then after that, IdrA just really had complete dominance with the muta harass that he was laying against Sterling. Sterling had a very difficult time dealing with it. Sterling also tried for a very fast 3rd expansion. I think that in and of itself was a huge mistake against IdrA. IdrA was really able to punish him for that. Sterling spreading himself way too thin, and as a result, IdrA was just able to overwhelm him with the speed and mobility of his mutas. So very nice play indeed. Was an interesting game, and again, looking forward to seeing how this game plays out. We can see IdrA will be going hatch first right now, moving straight on down, and then likely working into his pool and then extractor. So feeling pretty comfortable right now with the fact that Sterling's not going to have any pressure out anytime in the not too distant future. Something very notable here as well. Sterling sitting on no refineries right now. Now, what does this mean? It means he's going to be applying some marine aggression and then expanding again. So it looks like it will be a 1 racks expand again. We're at 2 racks. We would see that 2nd racks building by now. And again, he's just sitting on that 1 right now. So here comes the Marines coming out with that orbital command as well. Also dropping that 2nd depot. Very interested to see he's not getting that wall off right now. In all honesty, though, not very necessary at this point in the game, given the fact that he will be applying some pressure. He's not really too worried about any of those Zerglings coming out. We can see IdrA's pool is up, coming on through right now. About 50% of the way finished. Still no extractor. And here we go. This first 2 SCVs moving down. IdrA fully aware of that with that Overlord Scout, and let's see what Sterling attempts to do and how IdrA is able to respond and preemptively coming down with the 6 workers. There's a number 7 as well. Now Sterling does have 2 SCVs here, and actually he's just going to be forced to cancel that. Didn't get much building done on that at all, so forced to push back with those 2 SCVs. Here comes that first Marine, 2nd Marine coming on through as well. Sterling's going to keep this up right now. IdrA still doesn't have the creep, and Sterling, is he going to try to apply any bunkers? Not sure if he's going to try to place any down. I would really like to see that. IdrA started mining over here at this expansion. Look at this. He's just completely chill. He's not worried at all. And, ooh, Sterling just retreating. Not even trying to do any damage. That, I am not sure about that. I think at the very least he should have tried to, poke and prod a little bit and force IdrA to make more Zerglings. But now, since IdrA has spotted the retreat, he's just going to start droning up again. You can see 4 drones coming on through. He does have those 2 queens as well. Here goes that spine crawler, and now he's all set. So this is the problem. If Sterling had continued to apply that pressure there, IdrA would have likely been forced to make more than just these 6 Zerglings. But since Sterling pushed back, IdrA can stop at those 6, drone up, and now he's got to work on his strong economy. And since he got his X12 faster, IdrA is going to be in a stronger position. So right now, pushing on up, he just wanted to see what the production building was right here. Also trying to get a good eye as to how many Marines were situated up there as well. There's that expansion as expected. 2 more racks, and here come those 2 refineries as well. So I am a bit disappointed that Sterling didn't at least try. And I'm not saying that he would have been able to get a lot done, but even kill a worker or 2 and make IdrA sweat so that he has to come out with some more Zerglings. That's it. That's really what he needed to do, but unfortunately didn't. Marines scouting out, looking for any stray Zerglings or anything like that. Overlord will be moving on down. Looks like he's going to try to situate himself right up here, and this is actually unspottable by that Terran player unless he gets some sort of vision of the high ground by lifting off a building or getting an air unit. This Overlord's going to sit here pretty comfortably, and I'm not sure if Sterling's actually even going to be aware of that. Looks like he's not going to be. Yeah, so he's going to have no idea that oh no, but rerouting that Overlord. IdrA should be pushing that into the corner, but he's actually rerouting and giving Sterling the opportunity to scout it out. Back over here, inside out of IdrA's base. We can see one extractor is up. Here comes that metabolic boost, just sitting on that one extractor. Does have nice saturation right now on both of his bases. Here comes a second, and is he going to be getting a third as well, or just sitting on the 2 right now? Looks like at least momentarily just sitting on those 2. He does have control of the Xel'Naga tower, so he will have a good idea if any push is coming, and Sterling getting ready to try to defend that expansion. Again, I don't know if he saw that going on through, but right now he can definitely not see it at all. He can, oh no, actually he's going to be pulling on in. So IdrA trying to get some scouting done and then making his way right back over. So here we go. Sterling is up at his expansion. We've got that Zergling scout pushing on through, and I'm wondering, yeah, he's going to be just sitting right over here, I guess. Maybe wants to see if Sterling attempts to move on into this direction. Oh, no, here comes that secondary scout right now with that Zergling moving forward, scouting out the 2 bunkers right there. Going to get target fired down by those Marines, and see you later. Now we do have IdrA getting ready to move on into that high-yield expansion, so he's getting ready to take a quick third evolution chamber as well as a Baneling nest coming on out, and his layer is just about finished as well. So it looks like at the very least we'll be sitting Speedling Baneling. I do quite expect him to go out with the mutas as well. That composition worked very, very well for him last game. Obviously something IdrA is comfortable with. We do actually have a Reaper Scout moving across the map right now, and he will be moving up into these expansions and trying to check if IdrA has moved into anything other than that natural, and he will likely be checking that high yield as well, and he should be able to see that IdrA has planned to move down there. Level 1 melee upgrade coming on through. We've got the Spire coming through as well as the centrifugal hooks then for those Banelings. Rocks are down. IdrA is ready to go ahead and take that expansion. Let's keep an eye as to when he actually grabs that hatch. We do have that Reaper moving on up, and it looks like he will be checking up here first before he actually moves down to check that high yield expansion. Sitting right now, pretty heavy Marine. He does have the Siege Tech and Siege Tanks making their way on out. No starport quite as of yet, so not going to be doing that same type of drop that we saw him do last game. Obviously, wouldn't be as effective. He was really abusing the terrain last game. Nothing that he can really do this time. And there we go. Fully spotting right now the fact that IdrA is coming out with that expansion. And actually, IdrA did not see that Reaper scout through because the Reaper was situated right here. And you can see IdrA does not have vision of that. So Sterling, knowing about that high yield expansion, IdrA did not know that that was scouted though. And again, continuing up these upgrades. Where is IdrA's Spire? There it is. IdrA's Spire situated right there in the corner. And the Reaper Scout keeping an eye on this expansion just in case IdrA expands over here. Sterling does want to be aware. Here comes a push right now, and again, Sterling knows about that high yield expansion. Wouldn't be all that surprised if he tried to push against that, although he may just be trying to move forward with a show of force, trying to take that Xel'Naga and might be doing nothing else. I'm not sure though. Yeah, he is pulling on back, so wasn't actually moving and wasn't planning to move onto that high yield quite as of yet. He does have that stim pack just about finished. He could plan a timing push of sorts. You can see stim pack has finished right now. Also got the level 1 upgrade. There we go, finally coming through with that starport. He's not planning to move into that third as quickly as he did last game, and I'm going to say that's a wise move because last game certainly hurt him quite a bit, and actually sitting on a very long supply block. Look at how long until supply depots come through. That's a big problem in all honesty for Sterling. That's a huge issue. You really can't be sitting on supply blocks this very long, especially at high levels of play. So IdrA does have that high yield up right now. Grab in the middle. He's got a couple mutas. Got a few more coming out right as well. He's got 7 in play and 1 more coming through. So we'll be sitting on a total of 8 for early game, and we'll be doing quite a bit of harass. Keep in mind, though, Sterling does have stim pack this game, so it will be a little more difficult for IdrA to do much damage, though. He is going to be taking out this reactor, or at the very least doing quite a bit of damage to it. And here we go. Our Marines moving forward, forcing IdrA to pull back with those mutas there. Where's additional mutas? I know he's got 8, but he doesn't have those all right there. He must have some sitting idly somewhere, unfortunately. That's pretty unfortunate. We have Sterling actually trying to come up with this depot wall. That's pretty interesting and very easy for a group of Banelings to bust right through. So Sterling will be actually unsieging his tanks, and is he getting ready to push out, or is he just trying to protect them against those mutas? Mutas should have a couple of free kills, if nothing else, doing a bit of damage to those depots, but actually bypassing them, heading back to the middle. There, the rest of the mutas right there. Well, I was wondering exactly where they were. I'm not sure where that Reaper went. I think that may have gotten taken care of. But here we go right now. We've got Stim Marines pushing across the map, as well as quite a few siege tanks. Do we have any medevacs or anything like that coming through? I'm not sure. We saw that starport, but I haven't seen anything come out of that yet. Well, we do have two medevacs in play. Just don't know exactly where those are right now. Where are those two? There, two. Oh man, sitting idly. He needs these in combat with them. Sterling, that's a big mistake right now. Medevacs would help him quite a bit. There we go. Finally pulling forward with those, and he definitely is going to need these once this engagement does take place. IdrA spreading out his units, wants to try to hit from multiple angles if at all possible. Also try to catch Sterling by surprise if he can. Again, trying to overwhelm him, take out those tanks with those mutas, and the Marines with those Speedlings and Banelings. And here we go, going to be pushing from multiple angles, and here it comes right now. Mutas moving up for the tanks. Speedlings and Banelings moving from multiple directions right now. Let's see how much damage he's able to do. All those Banelings get shredded. from that tank fire, but the speedlings plus some mutas enough to take out the rest of those tanks. We've got another siege tank situated over here, but Sterling took some pretty heavy losses right there. We can take a look. They are about even, but still Sterling is a little bit behind right now. Keeping on up with this push that's moving on forward. I don't know what I'm saying right now. He is continuing to push right now, though, and forced to stim back against those mutas plus those speedlings. Those stim marines are going to do quite a bit of damage. Does he have enough to take care of the mutas, though? I'm not sure he does. No, he does not. One baneling rolling on up for good measure as well. Now the mutas will take out those medevacs as well as this tank here. The tank is a goner. Speedlings moving on to take it out, and my gosh, IdrA again, just the engagements have not been going well for Sterling. They are about equal, but in all honesty, that was a very heavy loss given the fact that Sterling is just on those two bases. He's working his way into the third, but we've still got quite a bit of mutas left in play. It's obviously a lot of resources, 19 mutas, so it's 20 mutas in fact now, and that's a lot of Espion, and the fact that IdrA still has that after that large engagement is really phenomenal for him and a big problem for Sterling. Now we do have IdrA moving right up to this fourth expansion right now, and again, Sterling is trying to move into his third. I'm not sure how successful he is going to be. We'll really have to see how much damage IdrA is able to do with this harass right now. He's moving down, doing a bit of damage to those depots. Just wants to get him burning. There's a free tank kill. Might as well take it, right? Couple free, oh my gosh, taking those two medevacs as well. He is doing a lot of damage right now because Sterling has his marines over here for a drop. But as a result, these mutas are doing so much damage right now. Now let's see how much damage this drop can do. Sterling's going to have to do quite a bit to get himself back in the game. He's walking into a couple spine crawlers. We got speedlings and mutas sitting over there as well. And look at those mutas going to town in Sterling's main base right now. And look at that, Sterling forced to lift off, realizing he cannot deal with these mutas. He doesn't have the marine numbers quite yet, so he has to pull on back with the marines he does have in those medevacs, drop them down, and then continue to push and get those mutas out of the base. But the mutas doing so much damage and destroying that expansion, and that's a huge loss for Sterling. I've mentioned it a lot in the past, but mid to late game expansions and economy are the primary focus, and the fact that he lost that command center is pretty huge, and IdrA doing so much damage to these marines should push away from this, but a little bit of missed micro there, wasn't paying enough attention. I'm guessing he was grabbing his units down here and getting ready for this additional engagement. But again, IdrA sitting in a very strong position right now. Again, you can see Sterling is behind. Biggest problem, though, is that Sterling's economy is very lackluster in comparison to IdrA. Look at that. Just a big discrepancy between the economy of these two players. So IdrA, again, pretty comfortable right now. He's going to be coming out with a few banelings, rallying up some of these speedlings as well. He's got 4 saturated bases right now, one of which is this high-yield expansion. And there we go. Muta's moving forward to try to do some damage, taking out that turret, pushing back, forcing some more burning here. And it's going to force repairs, which cost resources. And here we go. Speedlings, banelings, and mutas moving forward, trying to get that full surround, and Sterling just calling the GG. I realized he was outgunned there and just way too far behind. Sterling opened up this game as well with some 1-racks marine bunker pressure. Unfortunately, though, IdrA was able to stop that first bunker placement, and as Sterling was getting ready to push on down, he actually, for some reason, decided to just pull back home. Now, this was a problem because he could have forced IdrA to make some more Zerglings, but instead walking back home, allowing IdrA to drone up and get a strong economy. We saw Sterling work up his marine tank force and push out across the map. However, IdrA was able to get a full surround, hitting from multiple angles with speedlings, banelings, and mutas, taking out all those tanks and forcing those marines to push back. This was a very big engagement for IdrA in which he did a lot of damage. Sterling then prepared to move out with a drop with 2 medevacs and a ton of marines. However, at the exact same time, IdrA moved down with all of his mutas and was able to tear through what Sterling had at the front and lose all of his tanks because all of Sterling's marines pretty much were in those 2 medevacs. This was a big problem and a huge mistiming for Sterling. IdrA was then able to kill off the attempted expansion of Sterling, and then he pushed out one last time when he was able to force the quick GG from Sterling. Pretty awesome game here. We can see right now, obviously, the best of 3 series going to IdrA quite handedly. He did quite a number to Sterling on these 2 past games. Unfortunately, Sterling just getting in some really bad positions and making a few unfortunate decisions. As always, guys, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.